In lane 2 at the bottom of your screen, we have Argentina. In lane 3, another Henderson boat. In lane 4, New York Athletic Club. In lane 5, Argentina again. In lane 6, Mendota. And lane 7, Mendota.
All right, so 2 Argentinas and 2 Mendotas in this race.
Yeah, the Mendota crews, they row out of Wisconsin. They're coached by Bo Hoopman, an Olympic gold medalist in the men's 8 in the 2004 Olympics.
Yes, so crews have shifted now into their base pace, getting into a rhythm. It looks like the weather has calmed down a touch. Still challenging conditions and still a headwind for sure, but a little bit easier to stay clean in this water than it was earlier today.
Yeah, it looks like we have the New York Athletic Club and Argentina in lane 5 pushing out at the beginning. This boat from, Mendota in lane 6. Still in there, I'd say the Mendota boat. They won the senior men's 4 at U.S. Club Nationals 2 weeks ago, but they are trailing New York Athletic Club and Argentina.
Wow. So Argentina crews throughout the week have been known to rate high. So it'll be interesting to see how their strategy plays out.
Some of the coaches may have made some changes to the rigging on the boat to try and make it a little bit easier for the athletes to get their oar through the water. They may have shortened the overall length of the oar, or they may have moved the oar locks out a little bit further away from the center of the boat, just to make it easier for the athletes to hold a higher stroke rate.
Yes, smart move if they did. It all depends on the strategy, though, and what the crew is used to and what they can handle. So coming into the second 500, it's choppy here. It's pretty choppy going through this particular section. So it's going to be really important for the crews to stay relaxed, because if you tense up in the chop, it'll be harder to stay in control of the boat. So staying relaxed, staying long, big tap downs at the finish so the blades clear the water, so their hands will go lower. That makes the blades go further off the water. So really important here to keep clean.
Yeah, a lot of international pedigree in this Argentina boat. Their stroke and 3-seat rowed at the 2016 and 2017 Junior World Championships. Their 2-seat took part in the 2017 Senior World Championships, and their bow seat was part of their under 23 team at the World Championships in 2011 and 2012.
Wow, impressive. All right. So we're going to get a good view here of what's going on. Argentina looks like they're still a nose up, but they are closely followed by New York Athletic Club.
And New York Athletic Club isn't letting them get away. This is a race I think they're going to stay fairly tight, and much like some of the other races we've seen, that last 500 meters is going to tell the story.
Yeah, they're almost dead even right now, and it's a tight race. All throughout the entire thing. Mendota are tight. Both Mendotas, Henderson and the second Argentina boat, are very close. This is a very close race for such a big boat class.
Yeah, for a lot of these athletes, they're racing in the senior 4. They've either experienced some time on their country's national team, or they're really looking to make a name for themselves and try and crack through and become a part of the national team system.
Yes. So cross headwind here. In these boats, they are what's called a straight 4. So they do not have a coxswain in the bow keeping it straight. So usually the bow seat or the stroke seat will have a toe that can steer the rudder to keep them straight, and they can use it by applying different amounts of pressure in the boat. So you can see there is a little bit in the middle. The two crews are very separated from each other, so it looks like New York Athletic Club might be just very close to the buoy line there, almost going over, trying to keep it straight. You can also see that Henderson is having some issues with the steering. The crosswind really hits you here, and it is difficult to keep it straight.
Yeah, you can see the umpire in your screen waving his flag. He's telling Argentina to get over into their lane. It looks like their oars might be just a little bit into the other crew's lane. But if there's no crew beside them, it's not going to cause them to get disqualified. At this point, the umpire is just telling them to stay in their own lane.
Wow, so Argentina is at a 36. They are absolutely cranking it in this headwind. Impressive.
Yeah, all week they've been rowing at a higher rate, very solid finishes. You can see their backs nice and high up at the back end of the stroke, giving them a solid platform to squeeze the handle in and really send the boat in this headwind.
It is a close race in these last few coups. It is very close. No one is significantly trailing, but all that really matters is Henley Gold. There's only one medal given out at the Henley, a very unique regatta. So all that matters to these crews is who is out in front. Everyone else is just trying to catch back up.
Yeah, and I'm sure New York Athletic Club is going to get themselves ready as they're aware that the water is a little bit cleaner here. The wind is shifting a little bit from the north to the east, so it's going to turn into a bit more of a crosswind, but the winds are expected to die down a little bit. But if it's a straight cross, it does make it difficult to stay in your lane.
Yes, and the New York Athletic Club just made a bump in rate, so they are pushing up their power and rate, trying to catch back up with this Argentina crew. But it is Argentina currently leading the way as we come into the last 250 meters.
Yes, it looks like they hit the red buoys first. They're just looking a little bit more together than New York AC. New York AC's timing seems to be a little bit off compared to Argentina.
Yes, and Argentina is at a 38 right now. They are closely followed by one of the Mendota crews, the Mendota in lane 6. Mendota is at a 39 right now, so also bumping, and they look like they are moving actually on New York Athletic Club.
Yeah, it looks like Argentina's on their way to their third gold medal of this regatta. It's proved to be a very successful regatta for them so far, bringing a large contingent up, and as they take these last couple strokes here, the hands go up. The water is being splashed. They are a happy bunch.
Yes, Argentina through first, and it looks like the bow of New York Athletic Club, it came through second.
And this is one of the few regattas where club athletes will get a chance to compete against other athletes who have national team experience. So all 4 of those guys in the Argentina boat have at least a year. Some have 2 years of experience racing at world championships, and you can see the benefit of that in this race.
All right, so unofficially it is Argentina with the 637.44. In second, New York Athletic Club with a 642.49. Then followed by Argentina again with a 643.98. All right, so we are joining a race in progress, the men's senior flyweight, we call it, 64 kilo coxed 4. So all of these athletes would have had to weigh in this morning at under 64 kilograms. So in lane 3, we have Ridley Graduate Boat Club. In lane 4, West Side Rowing Club. They actually scratched today, so they may not be out there. In lane 5, we have the St. Catharines Rowing Club. In lane 6, South Niagara Rowing Club. And in lane 7, Detroit Boat Club.
This event is one of the remaining 2 events from the 64 kilogram weight category. It used to be one of the larger categories here, but now there's just the coxed 4 and the single. And it looks like a tight race as we come through the 500 meter mark, with South Niagara up just by about 2 seats on St. Catharines, and Detroit tagging along.
So it might be difficult for you to see the coxies in this scenario. That's because they are laying down in the bow of the boat. So you can have a coxed 4 that's stern coxed or bow coxed. It just depends where the coxie is sitting. So you can see these tiny little heads at the bottom of the boats. That's the coxie, and they are steering and calling the race strategy.
This event was won by St. Catharines last year, but it is a different crew. Oftentimes in these events you'll see junior athletes who happen to be a little bit smaller. It just kind of gives them a level playing field to compete. This is an event that we see at the CSSRA Championships. They weigh 66 kilograms there, but there is a full array of events for athletes of this size at the high school level. So most of these athletes are high school athletes.
Yes. So we are in the second 500. They're just about to get to a little more protected water. It looks like South Niagara is really capitalizing on that protected water and making a push here as they are up. And then St. Catharines are closely following them.
And these athletes are really going to feel the headwind right now. Weighing 64 kilograms, every stroke is going to be a real challenge for them to get that boat up to the speed that they would want to.
Yes. So South Niagara leading. The athletes in this boat are 17 years old and 18 years old. We come into the third 500, closely followed by the St. Catharines Rowing Club, which is the host rowing club here at Henley. So South Niagara has a length, not quite open water yet. St. Catharines is right in there.
Yeah, you can see in the South Niagara boat, the athletes are really swinging their bodies forward well with each other. There seems to be a little bit more of a rhythm in the South Niagara boat than in the St. Catharines boat today.
Yes, they definitely seem to be more unified, and they have a little bit better catches in the St. Catharines boat. They're just hanging a bit as they come up to the front. So the front end is the catch, and they're just hanging a little bit. But they are definitely giving it everything they have in that St. Catharines boat, and that's what's important in this third 500. How much can you give? How badly do you want it?
And we've seen a lot of boats changing the lead over these last few races today in the finals as we see different strategies and the impact of the headwind that these athletes have been dealing with.
So the South Niagara Rowing Club is based in Welland, Ontario, which is about 20 to 30 minutes from the St. Catharines Rowing Club. So there's a bit of a rivalry between these two clubs. So you can definitely see that in the athletes trying to push it out here. So it still looks like South Niagara in the lead, closely followed by St. Catharines. The race isn't over until it's over, so it's really up to these St. Catharines athletes to keep believing, to keep trusting, and to stay together. So yeah, South Niagara looking good coming into the final 500.
Yeah, they look very comfortable, very composed. Not just throwing their weight around randomly. There's nice timing in the boat. The blades go in and out together. Interesting that they have a tandem rig, so that means the athletes in 2 and 3 seat are on the same side. Most other boats alternate between port and starboard.
Yes, and they're at a 34 stroke rate. That's strokes per minute, and looking good.
Yeah, and if you look at the lane markers, you can see that they're not blowing around as much as they were in the last few races. So the athletes are certainly going to appreciate that fact as they head into the last part of this race.
Yeah, so that was St. Catharines in second at a stroke rate of 32, followed by Ridley Graduate Boat Club. They're at a 32 as well. All right, so final bit of the race here.
And the athletes are going to start to hear the fans in the grandstands trying to bring them in. They've been racing for 1,500 meters at this point. The cheering you get from a crowd. And at Henley, it's one of those rare regattas where you have a full grandstand of people here to support rowing. Yes.
So coming into the last 250, a lot of crews will plan a bump here in rate and in acceleration. So they're just trying to overall, it's not about trying to build the rate up, it's about trying to make the boat go faster. So they're trying to accelerate back as hard as they can, which will result in a rate bump, just to try to get to the line as fast as possible.
So in the South Niagara boat, these guys are going to be running on a lot of adrenaline. They've been in front of the other boats for 1,700 meters. They're able to respond to the other crew's moves, and then that's going to really propel them through to the finish line here. They're comfortably into the red buoys, about 200 meters left in the race. They can see St. Catharines. St. Catharines is trying to catch them, but it looks like South Niagara has developed a comfortable lead that's going to allow these guys to earn a Henley Gold.
Yes, and they're at a 39 stroke rate right now. And if you're the coxswain, you are just saying Henley Gold in 10 strokes. Like, it is yours. Just empty the tanks, give it everything you have, and enjoy it. Just love it.
And it looks like these athletes are responding to the coxie, saying that as they are not easing off as they come to the finish line.
Ooh, and there's the celebration. All right, South Niagara unofficially Henley Gold.
Winning gold in that boat in bow seat is Jacob Combe, in 2 seat Jacob Gula, and 3 seat Jeremy Langolin, stroke seat Alex Barnes, coxed by Riley O'Neill, and coached by Don Leclerc.
Yes. So South Niagara unofficially with a time of 7:24.08. They are followed by the St. Catharines Rowing Club. So you can see that Westside's on the screen there, but they were a scratch. So they are... that means they did not enter today. But great race by all crews here. So St. Catharines unofficially with a time of 7:37.36.